Hi, welcome to Late Night Wanderings of the Mind. I'm your host, Kimberly. Seeing how this is going to be my first video, I thought I'd talk about something, an interesting study that was recently released in a journal called Aging about Alzheimer's disease. So what is Alzheimer's? Most people know what it is. It's a disease that affects the mind. We see it primarily in elderly people. However, there are cases where it starts to affect younger people. It's called something like usually early onset Alzheimer's or early onset dementia. It is definitely important to remember Alzheimer's is not a disease. It's not a normal part of aging. It is a disease whose effects worsen the older the person affected becomes. Symptoms of Alzheimer's, what are the symptoms? Most people will recognize memory loss is the major noticeable symptom of the disease. It typically starts with not being able to retain new memories. So maybe you met somebody and can't remember their name, having trouble putting thoughts into words. So something like, well, you're excited about something, but you can't really formulate the fact that you're excited about it. Coordination problems, those are pretty self-explanatory, not being, hand-eye coordination, stuff like that. Mood swings, those are a big one. So you're going to see people go from being very happy to being very sad, going from being excited to mad, typical mood swings. And it also includes depression. These symptoms, they tend to become progressively worse as the disease racks the mind of the person who's affected. Rambling on, mixing up words more often, lashing out, and confusion become more pronounced. Frustration with the disease is also pretty common. Excuse me. As the person who is affected becomes aware of what's going on, and they become aware of the symptoms and have difficulty coping with the fact that they are not able to remember things like they used to. The final stage of Alzheimer's obviously is the most severe. We're looking at not only is the person becoming less cognizant, but symptoms such as seizures begin to appear along with the inability to control bodily functions. Many times the person will start hallucinating. These hallucinations include oral and visual hallucinations as well as tactile hallucinations, which is something that I was not aware of. Now, this study is phenomenal. The results were published in a journal titled Aging. It was conducted with 10 participants who all reported some form of memory loss, from mild cognitive impairment to subjective cognitive impairment. The patients each had markers, like genetic markers, that indicated that they may develop Alzheimer's in the future, which is interesting. I didn't realize that Alzheimer's had genetic markers, so that was something new for me. Each of the participants in this study were placed on a protocol known as MEND. This is something new that I also learned about while doing this study. It's a protocol developed by Muse Labs. It's a protocol of lifestyle changes and medications implemented in a manner that is personalized to each patient. And this is based on the patient's genome, medical test results, comorbidities, as well as current medications, medical history, and other inputs. That's straight from the paper that I read called An Introduction to MEND Protocol, published by Muse Labs. If you want to read the actual papers that I refer to in this video, keep in mind that I will post the links below to everything, okay? So now for the exciting news. Now, this is why I'm so happy to see this. Alzheimer's was never really something that really grabbed my attention. I am a genetics major at ASU. So anytime, any science stuff, diseases, yes, it always attracts me. Cancer's always been something that's really been interesting to me. But Alzheimer's was never really something that caught my attention that I felt was something that I wanted to study more. Now, ever since I met my friend Mary Jane, and sure, we call her MJ, she lost her father to Alzheimer's a few years back, and ever since that happened, she's always been super supportive of my studies and always encouraging me to keep at it and learn all that I can. I love her dearly for that, and one of the ways that I feel that I can repay that is by studying Alzheimer's and potentially actually studying it when I actually get into doing real research. Anyway, back on topic. So, each of these 10 participants in the study, through the use of this MEND protocol, were able to regain cognitive functioning. The results show that not only were they able to better remember and retain new memories, but they also saw a growth in the hippocampus of the brain. This means that not only were the results subjective, there was one patient who was on the protocol and he was remembering things better. He reported, being able to make new memories and retain them. There was an editor, which I thought was interesting, an editor who was having issues with remembering basic grammar rules, and it was really starting to affect her work. After a period of time on this protocol, she reported that she was able to better do her job, and she was catching more mistakes, and she was being able to go back and do like her crossword puzzles and stuff like that. Really cool. So those would be kind of subjective results, but when you look at the actual medical results, the medical test results, such as a growth in hippocampal volume and stuff like that, you're seeing actual quantitative results, which is really cool. But like I said, it's physical proof. Hippocampal volume is associated with memory retention, and typically decreases in volume correlate with memory decline. While this study was small in terms of the number of participants, it's a huge proof of concept for the possibility of the reversal of memory loss. If these preventions are taken early enough, and if you have the markers for Alzheimer's, you may be able to avoid developing the disease, so that, or at least, help to lessen the effects of it. So, like I said, super exciting research in the field of Alzheimer's disease. We're seeing that it could be potentially reversed and the effects lessened by using this MEND protocol. If you're interested in learning more, please check out the links below. If you want to see more videos like this, then click the little subscribe and like button and share this video. Thanks. Mwah.